Hi there, thanks for joining me. I'm Brian from the Lincolnwood Library here today with a video technology lesson focusing on Zoom. We had a video on a whole bunch of video conferencing solutions, but now today we're just going to focus on Zoom. So let's get started. In my web browser here, I've got a blank tab, and instead of searching for Zoom, in the top address bar here, we can go directly to zoom.us. They have a bit of an unusual website address, but this is their site. So this is what it looks like. And you can sign up, and they've got links to host and demoing and all sorts of things. But first I want to look at their plans and pricing. Zoom starts off free for up to 100 people in a meeting or unlimited one-on-one meetings for groups of up to 140 minutes in a meeting. No limit to the number of meetings, and they've got all sorts of security. They work on just about every system, screen sharing, annotation, whiteboard. They've got meeting IDs and links to help people get in. You can raise your hand as well to get people's attention during a meeting. You've got good quality video and audio. Newer computers can do virtual backgrounds, and there's a virtual waiting room for enhanced security. And they do also, it's not exactly listed here, but you can require a password in your meetings. Now that's just the free plan. You see, for different price points, they have all sorts of other different features available. Let's take a look at making an account. An account is required for people who are going to host a meeting, so the people who organize it. It can't just be one person as well. So you see they've got sign in, but we want to sign up. And I actually don't have a Zoom account yet myself, so I'm going to do this. So I'm going to put in a birthday that's fake. You can just do something that is over 13 years old, provided that you're telling the truth. There we go for me. They just have to have a birthday of over 13 years old for legal reasons. Work email address doesn't actually have to be a work email address, although I am going to use my work email. You can also log in with Google or Facebook accounts as well. So typing in my email address without typos. And they're going to send an email to your work account. So I'm going to take a break and hop over to find that. All right, I've hopped into my email, and in my inbox, I've received this message from Zoom. It'll say your name, and they give you both this big sign in button and the link. You can click either. All right, I've clicked through from that email and have landed on this page. You see the address at the top, zoom.us/sign-in. Now, the first time you sign in with Zoom, it is a little tricky. You have to type that email address you gave them, and then press Forgot Password. So then you'll have to type in that email address again, and click their little security, I am not a robot. Then send, and then you'll have to go to your email for the next step. All right, I've gone into my email and found the Zoom password reset confirmation email. You see they have click here to change your password or the long link that you could manually copy and paste into your browser. I'm going to click the text, click here to change your password link. So this is the page that loads when you click through on Zoom's Create Your Password link. Simple reset your password, should have your name, and then you'll type your password. You see beneath it, it notes their rules. Your password should be long. It should have numbers, letters, and symbols, uppercase and lowercase letters. You're going to need to remember it, so you should write it down somewhere. And you'll have to type the password twice, once in the first box and down beneath the rules as well. Now, as you type it, it will show you if you have followed their rules successfully. And I'll type it again. If it doesn't match, they'll reject you when you hit save. But mine did, and I'm going to go to my meetings. Now you see they've got a whole bunch of notices here. They're developing Zoom really quickly. I'm just going to close out of these. So this is what Zoom's account interface looks like. You're able to see sections of your account on the left, and when you click into one of those sections, it displays on the right. You're able to schedule meetings in advance, and I actually need to schedule a meeting right now, so I will do so. So you hit schedule a meeting there. You want to give the meeting a title so people know what it is referring to. And this is going to be a test meeting for teaching this class. So it's got today's date automatically. If you need to switch to a different date, you have to click this little calendar button to the right of the date, and then you could pick the day. Maybe I need tomorrow, but I really need today. 2 p.m. is just fine. You see, it tells me the duration of the meeting with this warning that the free basic plan has a 40-minute time limit with 3 or more participants. If you're under that, you're good to go. So I'll just go down to 0 hours and call it 30 minutes for this meeting. Time zone. You can make a meeting recurring or not if you need it at the same day of every week. You can have Zoom generate the meeting ID automatically or use a custom persistent one. If you're meeting with different people, it's probably a good idea to use the generate meeting ID automatically option so that your meeting ID won't be spread about by other people. It's required now to have a meeting password. You can accept the default passwords or you could type a password over. Under video, you can decide to have your video on or off by default at the beginning of the meeting. And you can do the same for participants. Now the participants can override this. This is kind of requesting a default option. They've got one last set of options down here. Now, if you're cutting it close on time, you can enable the other participants of the meeting to join before you. I think that's a good idea. If you're expecting a lot of people, you can mute everyone when they enter. Enabling the waiting room is also a good idea. As the host, you can screen people to make sure that you don't have pranksters trying to join your meeting. And you can also enable recording the meeting automatically but you can also just record in the interface itself. You want to just double check the time and day, make sure that's right, and hit save. And there you go. It shows you the information about the meeting. Now, if you look at my clock in the corner, it's just about time to start the meeting. So there's a nice handy Start This Meeting button in your Zoom meetings listing. But before I do that, I just want to mention that Zoom is available just about everywhere on almost every device. They're available in Apple's iOS store on iPhone and iPad. They are in the Google Play store. Anyone with Android devices can install on their device. They're also available in Amazon's App Store for Kindle tablets with cameras. And for people who do not have any of those devices, if they do have a phone, they may be able to call in to some meetings. Now, my meeting does not have that enabled, but some Zoom meetings do. So I'm going to hit Start This Meeting. And Zoom is really smart. It detected that I don't have Zoom installed. So I could hit Save File there, and it would download the necessary file to get me started to install Zoom. So I'm going to do that. And then it pulls up my save window. Just going to put it on the desktop, save. While that's downloading, I've pulled up Zoom's download center at zoom.us/download. And they've got all the different versions of Zoom available here, links for them. They've got the desktop client, plugins for Microsoft Outlook and other applications, extensions for browsers, Firefox and Chrome. Again, in the Apple Store and Google Play. So you can click through on those links to download the applications for whatever device you are working on. You'll have to either follow instructions or hopefully it will install automatically. Okay, the Zoom installation file finished downloading. It may be in different places on different computers. You may use Finder on Macs or File Explorer on PCs to navigate to wherever your file went. A lot of times files download to either the desktop or documents or downloads folder. I believe it went to downloads folder for me. I've got a link to downloads here. Here it is. I'll just click the icon to open it, and you see it's installing the file for me, the whole program. And it knew that I was trying to start that meeting. Now, when you start a meeting, it asks if you want to join with computer audio, or you can also, again, call in. In some cases, I'm going to join with computer audio, and then the audio works. I ended that test meeting, and I want to show you a little bit about the Zoom desktop app. So if you get Zoom installed on a laptop or desktop computer, you can find it usually by searching. I've got a search box here, and I'll just type in Zoom. Here it is. So I can click on that and open Zoom up. Now, again, Zoom account holders are the people who can start meetings. If you're just trying to join a meeting that someone else organized, you don't have to sign in. But I am going to be doing some meetings, so I'm going to sign in. Now again, you can log in with Google or Facebook, however you signed in, but I gave them my email address. And you can also click to keep you signed in if you want to do that. I am not going to do that, but most people will want to do that. Then sign in. It'll think, and it brings up the Zoom interface. Rather than going to the website, you can also use this to schedule a meeting, join a meeting, see your old meetings and contacts, and see settings. So this menu here has a whole bunch of different options. You see sections, and then each section opens up on the right with its different options. So if you have trouble finding Zoom, you can have Zoom start when you open your computer up, Windows or Mac, and all sorts of options related to that. Now you can test your video. Hello? See options related to that. They even have the option to touch up your appearance if you're not having the greatest day, bad hair day or something. You can enable HD video, which will make it wider and bigger, or just the smaller. You can have it always turn off your own video, all sorts of different options. Same thing for audio. You can test your microphone. Can test your speaker as well. I have headphones plugged in, that's why we didn't hear it. All that's working for me. Options related to screen sharing. If you don't like it that Zoom automatically changes your window when someone else screen shares, you want to unclick this option here, enter full screen, when a participant, someone else in the meeting, shares their screen. You can see options related to chat as well. You can see options related to a virtual background as well. Now you do have to download the Smart Virtual Background package if you haven't done that. So I'm going to download that. Hopefully it doesn't take you long. It's going to think. And there we go. I've got it. Now I am at the Golden State Bridge. Or I can be at the beach. And you see this one moves, which is really cool. Got Earth in the background, or Aurora Borealis. Now, all of these backgrounds, whether they are the moving one, like the beach, or the static one, like the bridge here, they require pretty good hardware on your computer. It has to process that in graphics. Now you can set up settings related to recording too. All sorts of options. It shows you how much space you have left on your computer. You can see information about your profile, including upgrading to one of their paid plans if you do need to do that. Statistics, keyboard shortcuts. I love that they have this. People often ask, how do you know how to find shortcuts? How do you know what shortcuts are? Zoom lists all of the shortcuts available. So if you need to switch views, switch to the speaker view or the gallery view, they show you the shortcut for that, which is incredibly helpful. I mentioned earlier that Zoom meetings can be joined directly from web address links instead of the numeric codes. So I've copied one of those long Zoom meeting join web addresses, and in my web browser, I'm going to paste it in. Now, if someone emailed it to you, you can just click the link, and that will start this same process. So I'm going to paste that link, hit enter, pulls up Zoom, and this will look a little bit different on your computer, but it will pull up some sort of function to launch the Zoom application. So I'm going to click on Zoom and open link. It'll probably say open application. And then again, we have to join audio. And I've stopped my video in the settings for this meeting. I could start that if I wanted to. Now, I don't need to. This is just a test here. When you're done with a meeting, there are a whole bunch of different ways to exit. Now, if you leave your mouse for too long, the Zoom controls kind of disappear like this. You just move your mouse again, they reappear at the bottom. Depending on your system, it looks a little bit different and it says different things. On this system here, it says end. Sometimes it will say leave or leave meeting. It's usually in the lower right corner of your Zoom interface. So I'm just going to press that. And since I'm the host, it says end meeting for all or just leave meeting just for me. If you are logging in just as a participant, it'll not have this option. But for hosts, I'm going to end meeting for all. And there we go. I quit out of that meeting. Before me and a couple of my coworkers do a more real-world test meeting, I just want to show you two more features about Zoom, which are both logging out. So you might have to switch accounts, or you might just want to be done with Zoom entirely. You're tired. A lot of remote meetings. In the Zoom desktop application, you click your name, your initials in the upper right corner. You can see a whole bunch of things, including sign out. So I'm going to click that, and I've signed out of the application. Now, earlier, I also had logged into Zoom's website, and I am still logged in there. That is separate. Their website is separate from the Zoom desktop application. To log out, it works very similarly. I click the profile icon and sign out. Now, when we signed in before, it was the first time after creating the password. So I just want to show you how a normal sign-in process works. You go to zoom.us, click sign in, then it will ask you for the email address of your account and the password. Hit sign in, and there you go. You are into your account and you can start working on setting up your meetings. I have a couple people who are going to join me for an example meeting, which starts in 6 minutes, but you can always start Zoom meetings in advance. Their start time is flexible. So I'm going to hit start. And here we go. It's connected. I'm going to join with computer audio. And now the audio is in progress for the meeting. Those controls disappear when you leave your mouse kind of not moving for a while. Now in the upper left corner, in the I button, you can see the information about your meeting. Click away from that to get out of it. You can click that little checkbox to go to settings and see that your meeting is encrypted. Now you can enter full screen, hit your escape key to get out of that. You can also use maximize to make it take up the full view of the screen, but not get rid of your usual system controls. Another link to see information about the security You can enable or disable participants sharing their screen. I want to do that as an example. You can enable or disable chat or the participants renaming themselves. You've got the option to record the meeting or not. You can see the participants. It appears as a panel on the right. You can hide that panel by clicking on participants here at the bottom of your screen. You can show the chat, kind of works the same. You press that chat button and it shows the chat on the right. There are reactions, clapping, and thumbs up. I'm not a big fan of those. Sometimes you have to wait a little bit for people to join a meeting. This meeting was scheduled at 3 p.m., so I do have a couple minutes left. Now, if you enabled the virtual waiting room, which I did in this case, you'll want to log in early, as I did, and click on that participants button so that you can see where people will join. It will show them up here, and it will allow you either to remove or admit them. We'll show that. All right, so now Jen is waiting here to be admitted to the meeting. I can either remove her or admit her. I'm going to admit her. Here she's joining. And it looks like there she is. Hi. We had a technical difficulty and switched over to a different device to record a Zoom session for you. Here you go. All right, I've got Zoom open here with a new meeting, and as always, it asks if I want to join with computer audio. Again, sometimes you can call in as well, but right now I'm going to join with computer audio. So here's the interface. Now I'm on a Mac now, it's a little different than PC, but you've got the meeting ID up top. In the upper left corner, it shows that the meeting is encrypted. You've got the control for muting the audio or turning on and off the video. You can manage participants. It pulls up a panel on the right that shows who is in the meeting. Similar thing for chat. I can press chat and then it pulls up the chat panel. Now you can also share different content. For example, your screen, or do a whiteboard. And they have advanced options. And again, managing participants is where you can let people in to a meeting. Now, I actually need to send this meeting to someone, so just hold on 1 second and then we'll come back. All right, I just invited some people to join the meeting, so hopefully they will be joining soon. The Manage Participants button opens up a menu on the side that allows you to see the different attendees. Now I want to rename myself, so I can go to rename, and I'm Brian. Rename, there we go. And it tells me I'm the host. I can mute myself, unmute myself. There we go. Now I've got a person wanting to join. I can either admit them or remove them, but I'm going to hit admit. Hi Jen, are you there?
I am here.
Okay, now your video's off. There we go. All right. Thanks for stopping in. I can hear you. Zoom has been helping a lot of people out. How's it been using it for you?
It's been great. It's so nice to have face-to-face meetings with people, even if they're not in person. At least you can make eye contact and see body language and at least feel like you're with someone. So it's been great.
Yeah, that's right. Now, if there are a whole bunch of people in the meeting, there are a lot of cool features that we can use. If you have a whole bunch of participants, you can control their audio. You can mute all or unmute all. You still with me?
Yep.
All right, so that's muting. There are lots of chat features. Again, in the bottom, you can press chat and it pulls up that menu on the side. And I can just say hello. Sometimes you want to do text if there's a little bit of garbled microphone or whatever it is. So we're just going to pause a second and I'm going to invite one other person to join. Okay, here we go. So we have one more person wanting to join. We'll admit. And she's coming up. Hi there, thank you for joining.
No problem. Hello. Hi.
So as people talk in the meeting, Zoom switches the video automatically, or you can pin certain people. So if I want to go back to Jen, I can click on her and pin video, and then her video is pinned. Hi, Jen.
Hi.
Then you can unpin, click that 3 dots, click it. I can go to my wife, Victoria. Hi there.
Hi.
Thank you so much. So we can unpin. And with the chat, when you have a whole bunch of people, you can chat specific people. So you go down into the corner by the chat and you click everyone, and then you can say, I want to go to Victoria and say thank you. But that's only to her. And I can do the same thing for Jen, of course. I can say thank you also. And they may reply back to me. You see the video changed as Jen was laughing a little bit there. So we're getting messages back. You always want to be managing that chat window. So now, Victoria, did you want to show a little bit of screen sharing?
Sure. So one of the cool features of screen sharing is you can actually select a whiteboard feature. So here we go. So when you have your whiteboard, you get all these really cool tools across the tab. So here you have draw, and then you can select exactly what you want to be drawing. If you want a thin line, a thick line, an arrow, a line, a shape, any of these things. So I'm just going to choose a thin line.
Now those controls are not shown on the screen, but you see them as the person with the whiteboard. And as she's drawing a bit, the video of the participants is kind of made a lot smaller and is displayed next to kind of on the side. Lovely drawing.
The other cool thing about the whiteboard is you can keep adding to your whiteboard, so you can go back and forth. And you can also download it later if you want to save it and post it somewhere else for people to see.
A lot of teachers have been using it, and it is a really great feature if you need kind of a collaborative space. So again, you can share. There's Basic and Advanced tab, and you can do the whiteboard or your desktop, and they have other options as well. The last thing I want to show is the ability to switch views. It's in the upper right of the interface, and it defaults to a view called the speaker view, where it features a certain person automatically based on its choice, but you can also go to a gallery view, which shows everyone at once, which is really helpful, especially for meetings where you kind of want to go back and forth really, really quickly. So that's just a little bit about Zoom. Again, I want to thank Jen and Victoria. Thank you so much. And I hope Zoom works out for you guys.
Thanks, Brian.
All right, bye.
Bye.
So as they leave, the meeting can continue with the host, and there's the end meeting button. If you are just a participant in the meeting, it will say leave meeting. So I'm going to do that now, and then it asks if I want to end meeting for all, which I do. All right, so we've shown you hosting a meeting and what a meeting with multiple participants looks like. The last thing we want to show you today is how to join a meeting when you are not the host. So first, of course, we need to open up Zoom. And when you're not signed in, it gives you the option to sign in to an account, or you can just jump right in to join a meeting, which is what we need to do. So I'll press join a meeting. And you see there are a couple of options down here, but we just want to type in the meeting ID. And you can customize your name. And then join. Most meetings now require passwords, so I will type in the password. And the host has not started the meeting, so we'll just wait for a second while the host starts the meeting. All right, the host started the meeting. We have the option to join with video or join without video. So I will join with video. Now the host just has to admit. So we'll wait for that. And there we go. And I just have to configure my audio. And we're all set. So that's Zoom. We showed you how to sign up for an account, how to sign in and out of your account, how to schedule and host meetings, and how to join meetings. We hope you'll be able to use Zoom for any kind of remote meeting you need to be a part of after watching this. Thanks for watching this Zoom technology class. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel for more videos like this, and on our website, lincolnwoodlibrary.org, you can see tons more resources, including under Research and Learning quick links. For Lincolnwood residents, you can log in to all of our premium databases, and Lincolnwood residents can also access our digital magazines and news apps, our digital movies and music apps, our ebooks and e-audiobooks apps, and more. Thanks for watching.